Hi, good afternoon. I am here, Ms. Blanford. I am with Ms. Lumpkins, my mentor, and we are discussing Task Standard 9, Professional Learning Ethical Practices. And we're discussing the lesson that she saw in my lesson plans regarding the lesson.
All right, I watched you do a typing web with your students yesterday afternoon, and I noticed that they were very much engaged. I also noticed that a few of them were a little more, they weren't ambidextrous. They did struggle a little bit, but the way you approached them was it was very warm, it was very just touching, to the point that the kids were willing to do it right. They wanted to do it right, and that they were able to follow through the goals that you have set for them, and that you were able to differentiate goals for each group. We had a group that were going to do this many for until they reached their performance-based tasks, and then you had another group that had a different set of goals as well, because they were able to go ahead and type a little bit faster than the other goals. What parts of the lesson did you feel were showing your strengths and what would you like to improve?
Well, in the beginning, introducing the typing web to the students were very, introducing the typing web to the students. Pause it. Interruption, but I wanted to introduce something new to the kids after the professional development that we went to, and they talked about getting the kids ready for Common Core. And my concern was, how can you get second graders ready for Common Core when they have never been exposed to typing? And I wanted to make sure that I introduced the typing website and also the iReady website to show them how to type. And typing and being able to type and use your keys will help you when you take the test. These kids were, again, as you saw, was typing like little
Right, they really were. And that was a problem with our students in third grade now, when they took the part, that they were not able to express what they were thinking because they didn't know the keyboard to press down. So if they wanted to spell a word, they were so busy looking for the keys that it frustrated them to the point that they decided not to put anything at all, which made their score go down when they could have been able to just go ahead, and they might not have spelled it right, but at least they would have known the keyboard in order to push forward with what they were trying to say. So what I saw with your class was that even though they struggled the first time, I kind of wish we started that back in like December, so that way by now they have a little bit more to practice on, because now school is almost over. And then when they get into third grade, I'm not sure if they're going to do it. We would like to, tell them to continue, so that they will be ready for that first part. But the kids, I know over the summer they're not going to do too much, but I would like for us to start that next year. It is, as far as like either January or the last part of December, so when they come back, they can get busy with that, and we can make that maybe like a station of somewhat like that.
Well, you asked a strength that I saw, a positive thing. I saw that a few of the kids who have been exposed to typing, they scored 95% and 100% on the test that they give at the end of each typing activity. So that was an aha moment for me. The ones that scored low, I noticed that I have to give them more additional work on the typing website, and also the iReady.
Okay, did you use any of the ones who did score well to kind of like tutor those who were having a hard time? I know one of your students, he didn't want any help. He doesn't, I guess that emotion that he doesn't want anybody to know. Those are the types that we have to really kind of like find a way to get to them. But I noticed how you went over there and you calmed him down to the point that he was able to at least try to get his fingers accustomed to that keyboard. I also noticed that you had a group on this side that, even though they passed the assessment for the type web, they were doing the iReady. And that also showed that because they knew the typing skills, they were able to put everything into that iReady program that was going on at that time. So we'll administer the assessment next week. So that'll show that they're ready to go ahead and place their information in. So do you think it's too much technology for them at this time, or should we spread it out? What do you think?
I think it's the right amount of technology, because believe it or not, these kids are 21st century students, and these kids are already exposed to as much technology based on at home, the iPods, the iPads, the systems that they got at home. So they're more advanced than us, than we are, believe it or not. So they know, once they get a kick of how to do it, practicing every 2 weeks, then they'll be able to speed, to go beyond what we expect them to do. And also with this task, they talk about law and policy, and some of the programs ask for kids' personal information, and with the law, you can't ask for kids'
Right, that's another thing, yes.
That was a big concern. One website that I wanted to introduce them to, they asked me for their personal information, and I wanted to stay away from that website because I wanted to make sure that it's follow the policy of the school, and also follow the policy of what their parents allow and sign for them to do.
Right, that's true too. And then if they did give that much information, would they be able to access it at home as well? Because most likely it doesn't make sense that it's still staying in that system until they come back that next year, if they come back to our school that following year as well.
Right.